back in Atlanta, where we look forward to the men's mile event. And Noureddine Morceli of Algeria. 29 years ago, Craig, Jim Ryan ran the mile in 3:51.1, and it is still the American record.
Still the fastest ever run on American soil outdoors.
Right.
American record, Steve Scott said over in Oslo, which of course is the place people go to run fast. Noureddine Morceli says he believes people can run fast on this track and wants to make a statement with his race today.
You like his chances?
Well, you know, you have to put it in perspective. For Noureddine Morceli, the world record holder, at 3 minutes 44.39 in the mile, a mile under 3:51 isn't saying a lot. A lot of these guys in the field who've run 3:54s, for them to run some 6 or 7 seconds slower, then they'd be up around 4 minutes. So you have to think of it in those sorts of terms. 4-minute mile, not such a great achievement anymore. For Noureddine Morceli, it's a training run.
And we expect something out of Steve Holman in this event.
Well, he's the American leader in this event the last few years, ranked 4th in the world a year ago, the guy who thinks he can break Steve Scott's long-standing American record. And Holman was really looking forward to this race. He lives and trains in Washington, D.C., so I see him fairly regularly up there. And he said he hoped that Morceli would go for something fast, because he himself wants to run a fast race as a confidence builder for the Olympic trials.
Noureddine Morceli's brother, Ali, expected to set the early pace.
And he's asked for a pace of 2 minutes and 21 seconds for the 1,000 meters as we take a look at Ali. Morceli is a running family, as Abdurrahmani, his older brother and coach, was a world-class 1,500-meter runner, African champion back in my day.
Which wasn't all that long ago.
Oh, no, not that long ago.
That's recent history we're talking about.
2:21 for 1,000 meters. That would be 3:46 pace for the mile. So if Morceli gets what he wants and delivers himself, Jim Ryan will no longer be the fastest mile in the history of American outdoor running. We should note, as we take a look at Sergei Bubka, that Eamon Coughlin broke the 3:50 barrier indoors back in 1983. Noureddine Morceli, a man who doesn't only run for himself, but really runs with a sense of history and running for his country, Algeria. Someone asked him at a press conference yesterday whether he felt that was a burden. He said, no, I want to show the world what I can do.
Ali Morceli continues to lead. Benzai of Algeria, the second rabbit, is running second. And Noureddine Morceli is third. Steve Holman, the American, running fourth.
Holman running with real confidence. He was really a factor in all the European races, always losing to Morceli, but always being right there with him for most of the race. And that's what he's going to need to do. Morceli, I think, impatient with the pace, as it was much slower than he asked for, only 1 minute and 57 seconds as they went through the half mile. Noureddine Morceli, of course, was looking for 1 minute and 53 seconds for the half mile. Steve Holman doing the right thing, going right with him.
Sitting right on his shoulder. So it's Morceli of Algeria, Steve Holman of the United States running 1-2. David Kibet of Kenya is running third.
Kibet, a 3:51 miler, tall, rangy athlete. Holman's personal best, 3 minutes 50.76 seconds, so he's never broken the 3:50 barrier. But Noureddine Morceli, who Steve Holman calls the greatest middle distance runner of all time. Now, of course, every athlete always likes to refer to those that beat him as the greatest of all time, but when you think that Morceli has that world record at 1,500 meters a mile, 2,000 meters, 3,000 meters, it really is saying something. We're coming down to a very fast last lap, as they're only 2 minutes and 56 seconds at the 3/4 mile mark.
Morceli and Holman trying to increase the lead they hold on David Kibet. Mark Carroll of Ireland moves up into third now by Kibet.
Morceli's already run a 3:51 mile in his first attempt this year. And can he break Jim Ryan's record of 3:51.1? He's left a lot to do. He's got to run under 55 seconds over the last lap. He's run 51 at times. And look at Steve Holman hanging on with him right here.
Morceli and Holman, the Algerian and the American.
Holman's showing good relaxation around that turn. He just can't quite get up on Morceli's shoulder.
Morceli holds him off. Is the Ryan record going to be broken? It'll be close. It is.
for his last lap and the fastest ever on American soil outdoors for Noureddine Morceli. That will be the stadium record that will stand forever since they'll never run another mile on this track. But Steve Holman running not that far from his personal best in his first outdoor mile of the season. And he's never run closer to Noureddine Morceli in a major race. Being able to be in a slow pace, which you're likely to see at the Olympics, and to hang with Noureddine Morceli in a very fast last lap will be a great confidence builder for Steve Holman. What defines the greatness of Noureddine Morceli is his ability to be running fast, but look as if he's totally relaxed. Running down the backstretch, this is sprint speed, and you can see the people fading on the right of the screen. This is sprinting for everybody else. This is good, hard running for Noureddine Morceli, but the encouraging thing for Holman is he's still within himself. He's still within his stride, too. You have to think that only doubting himself kept him from getting up on Morceli's shoulder down that backstretch and into the head of this turn. Then Morceli decided to make it something other than a close race and was able to pull away, but Holman kept his form. A year ago at the U.S. National Championships, he faded in the stretch. This time he keeps his form, runs close to his personal best, as Morceli is the fastest ever outdoors on U.S. soil.
And Steve Holman is with Craig Sager.
Well, Steve, obviously everybody's talking about Morceli going after Jim Ryan's record, but you went after Morceli.
Well, it was a strange race. I heard before that he was going to go after it. But the first half, even the first three quarters, was pretty slow. So I was just trying to stay relaxed as possible. So I knew he was going to wind up on the last lap. And I feel pretty good about it. I mean, you know, he is only the greatest middle distance record of all time. And I thought I was pretty close.
You got a big fan on Craig Mass back. He looks for big things for you this summer. How about you?
Well, I'm optimistic. I think I'm currently reassessing my goals after this performance.
Great job. See you this summer. Let's go back to Vern.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. We mentioned that this will be the only mile race held in this arena, so the record will now stand.